very good morning from the Central Newsroom. Paul Marsden, the Liberal Democrat MP for Shrewsbury, who defected from Labour, has announced he's now quitting Charles Kennedy's party and wants to rejoin Tony Blair's again. Mr Marsden left the Labour Party in 2001. He says Tony Blair made mistakes, especially over the war with Iraq, but says it would be a disaster for public services if the Tories got in, so he'll be voting Labour. Well, joining me in the studio is Darren Little, who's been following this story. Darren, he's got a pretty interesting background, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Never a dull moment with Paul Marsden. As you say, he was elected in 1997 in Shrewsbury and Atcham. He then decided he wasn't going to fight the seat in the 2001 election because he wanted to spend more time with his wife and kids. Changed his mind, doubled his majority, and within the year had quit the Labour Party over his opposition to the war in Afghanistan. He said he'd be physically and verbally abused by the Labour whips. And back then he told Central News why he simply couldn't stay in the Labour Party.
They were just obsessed with spin, they were obsessed with trying to control people, and that's something I took a stand against. It's a matter of conscience that I now actually feel I can't continue in the Labour Party. I want to actually stick to my principles, and they're now best served within the Liberal Democrats.
Not anymore, of course. Now, remember, he wasn't going to stand because of his family. He said he missed his wife in 2001. After that defection, he then admitted to 2 affairs. He wrote poetry about those affairs and published them on his own website, which was frowned upon, of course. And now he said he's going to leave the Liberal Democrats and rejoin his own party. This today is why he can't possibly stay with the Lib Dems.
It's going to be, on May the 5th, a straight choice. It's going to be Tony Blair or Michael Howard. Who does the country want as Prime Minister? I've got my strong criticisms of Tony Blair, but I'd sooner see him back in number 10 rather than Michael Howard.
So there you go. He's flip-flopped back again. It must be said he wasn't ever going to stand in this election. Not surprising, really. You can't imagine that the electors in Shrewsbury and Atcham would have been too pleased with him.
Darren, an interesting start to the election campaign. Thank you. Other news now, and the government is expected to announce whether it will give a £100 million loan to MG Rover. Yesterday it emerged 2 directors of MG Rover's parent company, Phoenix Venture Holdings, are at the negotiating table in China. MG Rover hopes to go into partnership with Shanghai Automotive Industries Corporation. If the deal comes off, it would save around 6,000 Rover jobs. Department store chain Beatties has suffered another sharp fall in profits in its Midland heartland. The Wolverhampton-based retailer, which has branches all over the region, has recorded a group profit slide of £1 million to £4.2 million. Its Birmingham city centre store saw losses widen by £300,000. West Midlands police are hunting a man they want to question in connection with a number of armed robberies. 40-year-old Ian Williams is wanted over 25 robberies in the last 6 weeks at supermarkets in Birmingham and Solihull. A school which cost £8 million to rebuild after a fire is today involved in talks about automatic sprinklers. Chase Terrace Technology College in Staffordshire was gutted 3 years ago by a severe blaze. The damage could have been minimised if sprinklers had been fitted. Today, representatives from the fire service will tell head teachers from schools across Staffordshire about the benefits of having water jets installed. House prices in the West Midlands are on the increase. The Halifax has reported a rise of 0.3%, which means that the average property price is now just over £158,000. Overall, though, UK house prices have seen virtually no change since September. Sport now, and Coventry City face fellow strugglers Nottingham Forest at Highfield Road tonight. Both teams need to win, but Coventry boss Mickey Adams says it's Forest who should be feeling the pressure. Sarah Jane Mee reports.
Mickey Adams is in confident mood ahead of tonight's crunch game with second bottom Nottingham Forest. The manager watched his side see off another relegation-threatened team at the weekend. Defeating Brighton 2-1 moved Coventry out of the bottom 3. But Coventry aren't out of it just yet. It's tight at the bottom, and this clash is vital for both clubs. It will be a pressure cooker at Highfield Road, but Adams knows who'll be feeling the heat.
Nottingham Forest, you know, because I think that a win for us would push us, I don't know, 8 points above them. Although they've got a game in hand, but that's a big aspect between now and the end of the season. A draw would be okay also, you know, so I would think that Nottingham Forest really have to come to Highfield Road and win the game.
Both clubs are enjoying a good run of form despite their lowly position in the league. Coventry have lost only 4 of their last 10 games. Forest have lost just 1.
Nottingham Forest under Gary Megson are a different animal. You know, they're very, very difficult to beat and to break down. They'll be well organised. He'll have put a certain amount of fitness inside them as well. So we're expecting a very, very difficult game, as we would with anybody at this stage. We're two peas out of the same pot, aren't we? You know, we're trying to get the best out of a group of players that we possibly can, and trying to survive in the Championship, which is going to be very, very difficult. So yeah, I've got a lot of empathy with Gary.
That won't be the case come kick-off tonight, when it will be every man for himself in the race for Championship survival.
Central weather with bmibaby.com.
Mainly dry, bright and breezy this afternoon. A few light showers are possible, but most places should be dry with some decent sunny spells. Rather cool though, with highs of around 13 Celsius or 55 degrees Fahrenheit. A mixture of clear spells and light showers moving across the region from the west tonight. Winds fairly brisk too, with temperatures falling to a rather chilly 3 degrees Celsius.
Central weather with bmibaby.com, the airline with tiny fares.
Central News is back with all the latest headlines at 10 to 1, so do join us then. From me, very good morning.